What is up? I am so excited to come live today for our masterclass on how to overcome the fear of starting your online coaching business. So, really excited to be here as you're jumping on. Tell us your name, where you're from. So excited to come live with this awesome content. Really excited to share this masterclass with you today. So thank you so much for being here. Hello as you're joining. So great to have you here. If you're catching the replay, do a hashtag replay. If you're joining us now, tell us where you're from. It's so fun to connect with like-minded nurses and women and see that you live somewhere nearby. So really excited to come live today and teach you about how to overcome the fear, right? Fear is something so huge that as humans, it just happens. And there's definitely ways to get around it and to overcome the fear. So I'm excited to share specific strategies of how to get past these fears in our human brains to help us be able to move forward and help us create that life that we have in our minds, like that dream life, really being able to create our reality and design our future. So really excited to have you here. Thank you so much. Great to see everyone. Hi, Carrie. Hey, Brooke. Hey, Alyssa. Bethany. Let's see, who else do we have? Brooke. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Jessica. Awesome. So really excited to share specific strategies of how to overcome this fear, because I know from personal experience that some of these things can be debilitating. They can feel debilitating. They make us like not do the things that we really want to do because it's crazy, this fear that comes up in our minds. So I'm excited to teach you how to overcome this fear. So I want to give you a little backstory on me. My name is Heather, and I have been in online business now for 6 years. I love it. It is like the funnest thing ever, and I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm so grateful to be able to work with the most amazing clients, the most amazing women ever. So I am a business coach for nurses. I specialize in like marketing and sales, getting clients, social media strategy. These are my strengths. This is what I love. And my clients are getting amazing results. So I started out partnered with that company 6 years ago in health and wellness. I was able to grow it to a full-time income, which allowed me to leave nursing 4 years ago. So I worked as an ICU nurse for 8 years. And that, building that with a company allowed me to replace my nursing income so that I could stay home with my family. And it created that flexibility for me, which was amazing. There were a lot of things that I didn't love about being in the company. So I always had this dream to have my very own business. I wanted to build my own dream and not someone else's. I wanted to be able to do something that was more fulfilling, that I was really passionate about, and I really wanted to work with women on a deeper level. I wanted to be able to do things my way. So I finally started my online coaching business last January at the very end. I hit 15,000 in sales in the first month, and it's just gone up from there. I hit 95,000 in sales last month, and it just blows my mind the opportunity available for us in the online space. There is so much opportunity here, and online business is exploding right now. This is the place to be. If you have not started to grow an online coaching business, you are missing out 100%. And I will tell you that I wish every single day that I had started sooner. And I'm going to talk to you today about some of the fears that I had in starting my own online coaching business and how I was able to overcome those. I'll also be talking about some of the most common fears that come up for people when they're wanting to start a business that kind of hold them back, because I know that they held me back as well, some of these fears. So I'm going to go into detail about that. Really excited to share what I have for you today. And another thing to keep in mind is, with this business that I've created, I've helped it's probably around 160 or so nurses start and grow their online coaching businesses for more freedom. And it's incredible to see the results. I've had multiple clients leave the bedside with their online coaching businesses. I've had multiple clients earn anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000 within 3 weeks of launching while working with me. So it's so cool to see their wins and how this is absolutely duplicatable. I teach you all of my secrets and exactly how I've built my multiple 6-figure business. And then you implement, you do what I teach, and you have massive results. So I love seeing these women's lives completely transformed by starting their own businesses. It's just like the coolest thing ever, and I'm so passionate about it. I love it. So that's a little bit about me and what I do and client results. I do this because of the fulfillment it gives me, the freedom. I get to, design my life, design my schedule, design my programs. Like, I'm in charge. I make the rules. It's amazing. So all these things. I did a video on Monday on Facebook. All the 4 main reasons why you should start an online coaching business. And I went into detail about the freedom, the flexibility, the fulfillment, and the unlimited income potential. So if you didn't catch that, go back and watch the replay, because I go into detail about the massive benefits of online business. So really excited to teach you today kind of like where I'm coming from and how to overcome these fears of starting. So when I was starting out, I had been thinking about starting for years. And, there's so many fears that kept holding me back over and over again. I was building with that network marketing company. I had a huge downline of like 2,000 people. I had built a really big team, and I was devoting all of my time and energy to this. But it wasn't giving me the return that I wanted. It wasn't giving me the fulfillment that I craved. And it wasn't giving me the income that I wanted either. Even though I was like pouring my heart and soul into this, like literally working 10 hours a day on this business with this company. And so I really wanted to transition into having something of my own. I wanted to charge high ticket prices. I had seen other coaches charging high prices and making really good money online. And I thought, wow, that would be amazing if I could do that. But for me, it was really hard to know if it would work. So I will say that my biggest fear holding me back from starting my own online business was that fear of the unknown, right? Like not knowing if it would work. And that's probably, that's one of the most common fears that nurses have when they come to me and, ask for my help. And so I can relate to you on so many levels with this because that's exactly what held me back for so long. For so long, I kept thinking about it. But, it was so hard for me to leave that company. I was emotionally invested in the women, like the relationships that I had created on the team. I created this, built it to a place that allowed me to leave nursing. So it was really hard for me to walk away from that. But I knew that it was the right decision for my family. I felt a calling in my heart that this is what needed to happen. I really needed to pursue high ticket coaching with my own business. I did not know if it would work. I did not know if people were going to sign up. So the fear was real. To bring it back to that moment, I was so scared. I was like literally almost crying at nights because I was so scared of leaving what I had built to create something new of my own. I had no idea if it would work. So I totally get that fear and that frightening, scared feeling. Absolutely. So what I found was that actually kind of an event happened that shifted my perspective. So my dad passed away almost 2 years ago, and it was very sudden, very unexpected, and it was a huge tragedy, a huge loss. And in that moment, that is what really opened my eyes to how short life really is. And it made me think if I don't start my business, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And finally, in that moment, in the months after, in the grieving and the heartache and the pain, is when I realized I cannot sit on these dreams any longer. I can't wait any longer. I have to do this. And so I finally got the courage to do it. But, sometimes it takes an event to shift our perspective and understand how short life really is and how limited our time here is. So that's what made the shift for me. And I knew that I had to start it. And so I just started researching. I started looking around and trying to find a mentor to help me. I hired several coaches to help me get it started because I was in so much fear. But eventually I got a program laid out and I was just like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm just going to do this, even though it's so scary. Like, here we go. I started signing clients. And I hit 15,000 in that first month, and it blew my mind. Like after I signed the first client, I knew that this was it. Like, I knew that I could keep doing it over and over again. And it got me so excited. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. I was literally like jumping up and down, dancing, crying in joy that this was working. So grateful that I got past that fear and got to the other side. So and now, my business has just been increasing from there. So, 95,000 in sales in June. So when you look back at the history with my network marketing company in 2019, I earned around 30,000. In 2020, in my first year of business, I earned 200,000 with my own business with high ticket coaching. And then this year we're projected to hit around 600,000. And we're also projected to hit 1 million by April of next year or before. So it is so incredible to see the amount of growth. And if I had never took that leap of faith, I would still be making, $2,500, $3,000 a month with that network marketing company. And I probably would have had to go back to nursing. So what's really important is to keep in mind, like, if you don't take the leap, what will happen? Like, what will you miss out on? So I'm going to go into detail about the 4 most common fears and give you some specific strategies on how to overcome that. So the first one is the fear of the unknown. I touched on that. Not knowing if it's going to work, right? Like, we have no idea how to see the future. For me, I would rather take the jump and do something that's so scary than live the rest of my life in regret, right? Like, you may have seen the video where it's by Prince EA, and he talks about how they do a study on men and women in nursing homes at the end of their lives. And what do they say? That they regret the most is not doing the things, not taking the chances on things, not living their life to their fullest. So for me, I would rather be scared and do it scared than live in regret for the rest of my life. So the only way to know if it's going to work is to try. That's really the only way to know if it's going to work. We can sit and think about it for years. We can ponder. We can come up with all kinds of ideas. But until we actually take that action and try, we will never know. And so for me, I got to a place where I was so uncomfortable that I knew that I had to do it. And you'll probably come to a place like that in your life where it gets so uncomfortable that you have to take action to get out of that discomfort. And that's how it was for me. So what I would recommend doing in this scenario is just start taking action. Like, start telling people that you're going to start a coaching business and see what happens. Tell people on social media that you are creating a coaching program and you're starting coaching, and you will be amazed at how much support you get. I cannot tell you how much people love this. Like, when we go for our dreams, people are just going to support you and encourage you. You'll be amazed at how much support you get. So just starting somewhere, starting to let people know what you have in the works, starting to post about the things you're passionate about. So these are like the baby steps to get you there in the beginning. Number 2 is time. So many nurses I talk to, they're working overtime. COVID cases are increasing again. So they're doing all this overtime work. They're getting texts and calls from their work all the time. Can you come in? Can you work more? Life is crazy. We've got kids, we got families, and I totally get that. But the thing is that life is always going to be busy. It will always be busy no matter what stage we're in, whether our kids are in school or whether they're not. So it's really important to realize that time is of the essence. So we can either choose to be a victim of time, or we can choose to rise. We can either use time as an excuse, or we can choose to rise. It's truly our choice. Absolutely. Like, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's about how bad you want it. Like, how bad do you really want this? You're going to find a way. For me, that meant that I was working at my kitchen table after the rest of the family had gone to sleep. And I would work at the kitchen table until like 1 a.m. This also meant that I would wake up before my kids woke up. I would wake up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I would start working on my coaching business before they got out of bed. So there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be a learning curve in the beginning, but I will tell you that it is absolutely 100% worth it. Absolutely. And I have a lot of clients who are struggling with time management, where they are just, so busy, so overwhelmed with everything that's going on in their life. And yet they are brave enough to do this. They are brave enough to work on their business because they understand that they can either stay stuck where they're at, where they're busy, they've got all these things going on, or they can be busy creating their own business, which allows them more freedom and flexibility and less overwhelm in the future. So it's all about what you want and where you're going. And so that's the cool thing with online business is you get to work however much you want to work. So for me, I work about 25 hours a week. And it's truly up to you how much you want to work. But there's going to be a learning curve where things are going to be out of balance for a while and things are going to be crazy for a while. But that's like a sacrifice you need to be willing to make in order to create the life of your dreams. So, and that was something that I was willing to do. I sacrificed sleep. I sacrificed time with my kids because I knew that this was a dream in my heart that I was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. I was willing to invest in a mentor. I was willing to go into the scary fear of the unknown to make this happen and make it a reality. So a couple of books you can check out to help you with time management are Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog is awesome for prioritizing your time. And The Big Leap is also really great. The Big Leap, he has a section in there all about Einstein time. So check that out. The number 3 most common fear is money. So, a lot of people have this fear of not having enough money. But if you want to make more money, it's really important to hire a mentor who can teach you how. It's really important to find someone who has the results that you want, who's doing what you want to do, and learn from them. That is how I've gotten to where I'm at today. I've hired multiple coaches over the last few years, and each one has really helped me get from A to B so much faster than I could have on my own. I've been able to pick their brains and, figure out what's working for them and then implement it into my business. And that's how I've had the level of success that I've had with this coaching business. So really important to find a mentor and learn from them. It is truly the best way to get the fastest results. So truly, like, if you're trying to do things on your own and like floundering around, you are losing out on money by not investing in someone who can help you and get you faster results. So the other really important thing that I'd love for you to ask yourself is, how much is it costing you to not get the help that you need? How much is it costing you to not get the help that you need? So I will tell you that it cost me over $2 million to not get the help that I needed when I first started thinking about starting my own coaching business. It was like years ago. It was like 4 years ago. And if I had started when I very first started thinking about it, I would have like $2 million more than I do right now. And it's kind of crazy to think about that, but it's the reality. So I want you to understand that, like, by delaying things, by waiting until things are perfect, which we all know is not true, but by delaying and waiting, it's actually costing us money. It's costing you money to stay stuck and in the same place. Rather than hiring someone who can help you, get there so much faster than trying to figure it out on your own. Someone who can keep you accountable and keep you moving forward and making massive progress. So that's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. The other thing is the return on investment, right? So rather than looking at the dollar signs of an investment that it is to work with a coach, I want you to think about, well, what is the return on this? What could I do with this? Because if you invest in a coach who teaches you how to start a business from scratch and teaches you everything that they've done to create a multiple six-figure business, that's worth multiple six figures times however long you do your business for, times 10, times 20. So we're looking at millions of dollars here for an investment of like 5 figures. So I really want you to keep that in mind. The return on investment is unreal when you hire coaches. So that is super important to keep in mind, and what helped me get past any fears of like hiring a mentor. My last one cost $15,000. I've spent over like $25,000 in hiring coaches and buying different training programs, but mostly coaches. I've always preferred working with coaches so that I can pick their brains. And I always prefer live coaching over like automated courses. You'll get so much more value, so much better help and support doing that. So that's really what I recommend, and that's why I do it that way. That's why I don't sell automated courses, because they don't work and people don't watch them. Like if you've ever bought an automated course, I can almost guarantee that you probably haven't watched the whole thing. Just like me. I've bought automated courses that I've never watched yet. And how sad is that? How lame is that? But it's the reality. So that's why I do live coaching. So number 4 is like the fear of failure. What if I invest all this time and energy and then I fail, like it doesn't work. This is real. Like this is a valid concern. Absolutely. But what I want you to know is that it's important to understand, like, are you okay with staying where you are? If you're okay with staying comfortable where you are rather than taking a risk, then do that. Stay where you're at and be comfortable. Like there's no shame in that. If that is cool with you, then let it be cool with you. But if you have this constant yearning and calling in your heart that's like, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I want you to take action on that, because I want you to visualize for a second. I want you to visualize 20 years from now, or even 10 years, depending on your age. What happens if you stay where you are today in 10 years from now, 20 years from now? How would that feel? How would it feel to stay exactly where you are with your career and your employment and your life if you're in the same place in 10 to 20 years from now? So if you're not okay with that, if you're not okay with being in that same place in 10 to 20 years, or even 5 years, or even 1 year, then it's time to do something about it. It's time to take action and start working towards your dreams. Like, we have such a short life to live. It's now or never. Like, it's time to start. The time is now. There's never been a better time to do online coaching than right now, especially with the pandemic, with so many people coming online. This is just the nature of where technology is headed. So no better time than now to get started. And so also I want you to know that my fear of staying stuck in that same place, working nights, holidays, weekends in the ICU, was not okay with me. It was not okay with me. I looked at our future. I couldn't see much of a retirement. I didn't see any vacations. I didn't see much freedom. I saw being stuck to a schedule for the rest of my life, and I was not okay with that. And so my fear of staying stuck in that place was greater than my fear of starting my online coaching business. Even though it was massively scary to start, it was even scarier for me to think about staying in that same place. I was not okay with that. The fulfillment was not there. The joy was not there. I was not living my purpose. So that's something to keep in mind for sure. And the other piece to that is, there's this fear of not feeling like we're good enough. So, and that's a valid thing. I've worked with a lot of women who've struggled with this piece of not feeling good enough. So I want you to know that you know more than you realize. You have so much more potential than you even know. And you are more than enough. So it's going to be really important to work on your mindset, because this is a story that you're telling yourself. If you're telling yourself that you're not good enough, you're creating that. You get to choose to write a new story. You get to write a new story, telling yourself, absolutely, I'm qualified to do this. Absolutely, I can make this work. Absolutely, I know enough to be able to support and hold other people accountable. We only have to be one step ahead of the next person to absolutely change their lives and be such a positive and powerful influence in their lives. So I want you to keep that in mind. I also want you to work on personal development. So, reading some amazing books every day. In fact, there's my favorite book ever is called Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. Brendon Burchard writes amazing books. I went to his academy. He does amazing work. Check out Brendon Burchard. He's awesome. In his book, Motivation Manifesto, he talks about how to overcome fears. And he talks about how, as humans, we've turned it into this crazy thing of just turn it into this outlandish thing. And he talks about how, fear, the only fear that we should be afraid of is if like a wild animal is chasing us, hunting us down, about to kill us. Like that is fear. But, these emotions that we're conjuring up in our minds, they're not valid. They're not real. So anyways, the way that he puts it is so amazing. You have to check out his work. He's incredible. So these are, my specific strategies and pieces of advice that you can implement today to help you overcome that fear of starting your online coaching business. So again, with the unknown, the only way to find out if it will work is to try. And with timing, now really is the time. The longer you wait, the more money you're missing out on. And we're not guaranteed life. Our lives could end next week and we have no idea. We have no idea when it could end. So the timing is now. And as far as money goes, how much is it costing you to stay in the same place and get the help that you need? And as far as like the failure, what happens if you stay in the same place for the next 5, 10, 20 years? Are you okay with that? So these are some really good points to consider. I hope this has helped you today. I'm so grateful that you were here. Thank you so much for joining us. I do want to let you know that I do have spots available in our Elite Nurse Coach Academy. So our Elite Nurse Coach Academy is my signature program where I help nurses and healthcare professionals start an online coaching business and grow it to 6 figures for more freedom. This is where I teach you exactly how to build a business from the ground up, or if you have an existing business, we take it to the next level, get you more clients, more income, making more impact, transforming people's lives. This is about changing people's lives and creating your reality, because I want you to know that success is absolutely possible for you. I want you to take the things that I taught today and I want you to implement them. And I want you to take massive action towards your dreams, because you can make anything happen in your life and I want you to act on it. So rather than sitting around waiting like I did for years, I want you to act on it and make some bold moves today, because you are absolutely worth it. You are more than enough and you have more potential than you can even realize. So I am excited for you to get started with your online coaching businesses and create waves. This is the time to do it. Now more than ever is the time. So let me know what questions I can help you with. Thank you so much for being here today. I love this community. I love nurses. I love the amazing women I get to work with every single day. Comment the word Academy for details about the Elite Nurse Coach Academy. I do have spots available and I'm filling those now for August. It is by interview and application only, and it is very high touch coaching, like intensive, accelerated, high touch coaching. So if you want massive results. And if you are serious about getting massive results in your own online coaching business, this is the program for you. It will literally change your life forever. And I do not say that lightly. So comment the word Academy for details on that. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. I appreciate you so much. Take care.